And good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace as we welcome you to Thursday. Have mercy, it's cold.
I know. And the 28th. This month is gone, y'all.
Right now it's gone. 35. That wind chill at 26, and the wind is not going to stop today. That's going to increase. And get ready because you better get some firewood and a big old blanket for tonight.
I know. I walked outside this morning. I didn't have a coat on, and my shoulder, it was like an ice cube going in the car. So I was like, I should have put my jacket on. But
tonight, if you thought last night was chilly, 27. Now in the morning when you wake up, you better warm up your car because we're going to have a lot of frost. It'll get a little warmer tomorrow, about 58. All we're going to get today is 49 degrees.
Oh, my goodness.
So that means I've got to get everything done that I can early so I can run to the bushes.
Is it going to be windy all day?
It is. 20-mile-an-hour gust. So
goodness. I don't know how good that is for hunting.
It's not.
You know.
Makes them all skittish.
Yeah.
Makes them not want to look for a girlfriend. And the girlfriend season, is that still going on?
I guess.
Because I am starting to see some old deer ease out now and look around and say, I might want a little nibble or something instead of chasing.
He pulled the camera cards last night. We were looking at them. Some big bucks.
Starting to get back into the scene?
Yeah, they are. And like right in the middle of the woods. He had a tree stand, on a climbing stand or whatever. And there was one right in the middle.
That's
big
good.
One, just sitting there, out in the open.
Maybe y'all get lucky. This is it. Between now and Sunday, you better do what you're going to do because it's over for Mississippi. Yeah. Now, Alabama, I think, will run to about the 10th of February. But Mississippi, it's all over but the crying.
Well, I hope I get to kill one. I don't know if I will or not. But
well, we hope so.
I'm kind of tired of going and not seeing anything.
That does get old quick.
Aggravating, yeah.
So do you keep up with Peta? Is that how you say that? Or is it Peta? Peta?
I think it's Peta. I don't know, but I don't really keep up with that.
Well, they usually find somebody to find fault with. And the headlines this morning is, and I don't want you making this mistake because I don't want you to hurt people's feelings.
I would hate to do that.
And here we go.
That would just be awful.
They are being mocked on social media for claiming that insults like pig, chicken, it hurts animals' feelings, and we cannot have a pig with hurt feelings.
Well, I know they're going to know it, when we say any of that. They're going to really be offended.
So if you really want to correct yourself, what do you do?
That's right. If you feel the need to call somebody a chicken because, they're scared of cat chicken, don't do that. Just call them a coward.
Oh, boy.
And, if you want to call somebody a rat because, they're going to snitch on somebody, just do that anyway and call them a snitch.
Now, how can your fondest dreams could you think a snake would understand what snake?
Right. What is snake and jerk?
I don't.
I guess you could say you're a jerk instead of you're a snake.
Well, to me, there's two different meanings to that. A jerk is just somebody that's into themselves, and a snake is somebody that is devious.
Conniving.
Yeah, a serpent.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're going to want to edit the Bible because the Bible refers to that.
I don't think that I'll be real concerned if I get ready to, especially if I get mad enough to say any of these words, I ain't going to be thinking about Peta.
So that's just some small thoughts from the folks there that they want you to know that you shouldn't do that.
I guess pig and repulsive kind of go together, but yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I could go out on a limb and see that one.
I could use all of those when talking about the new administration.
Probably in one sentence. Now, and we've mentioned this several times that whatever happened with this pandemic, and I still believe that it was purposely set off by mankind somewhere, somehow. Whether or not that will ever be proven, I don't know. But scientists say it's not anymore if, now it's when the next one will hit. And I think that's true.
Yeah. It's
going to be a different disease. It will be put into the population, and it will take out more. And then probably, like how people do these things to where your computer gets a virus and they send you an email and go, you've got X amount of days or we destroy everything you got. It will come to terrorists going, all right, we're fixing to release this if you don't give us X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
It's coming to a world near you.
It's scary. It is scary because some diseases that we know about from past, like that we've just heard about, I've never seen in my lifetime, but I've heard about. If somebody was to get infected with it, some of these they could just walk through a crowd of people and infect these people.
I've heard polio, things of that earlier, and then
like smallpox and stuff like that. I hope to goodness none of that comes into play. But
Which one was it when we were? I got that mark on my arm with all the little dots.
I don't have that. I didn't get that shot.
Oh, you're not as old as me then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not. So
I got that.
I'm just a small,
but
just a wee.
I don't remember which one that was for. Smallpox or
maybe
chicken
it was
pox?
polio. Do you think?
I don't know.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. It looks like a little circle on some people's arms.
Yeah, and I got that with all those little dots in it. I don't know if that was done to health departments. All I can tell you.
All I know is I can remember when I got some shots when I was like, to this day I don't like needles, but I was hanging on my mama's leg, like in the floor, when they gave me some of my shots.
I really don't remember ever going to a doctor until I had to go sign up for school, and you had to go get some piece of paper that said you had to have shots.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I mean, they would have to pretty much hold me down.
You still holding your mama's leg?
You know what? If I could take her with me when I have to go get a shot, I might. I don't like them. I hate them.
Yeah, so most people do. They run from them.
Yeah.
We got some good mornings to say.
Yes, good morning, Miss Ann Cook.
She's always
Hope you're
at
having
it.
a good day.
And Miss Joyce Arrington Stamper is up bright and early today. Hope you're doing well this morning also.
Yes.
As I said, chilly as we begin today. Let's see what else is going on. We learned about that. Now, this is one of those things. Do you know much about stocks? Do you deal in stocks?
I don't, but I mean, I would like to know. I've thought about getting, educating myself a little more and getting into it, maybe.
I've got very little knowledge. I know a little, not a lot. And I kept seeing a story about GameStop. This is going across the nation of their stocks are up 1,700%. Now, here's the headline. Let me pull this up and show you this. Is American Airlines next? GameStop, as I said, is up 1,700%. And you see the name Reddit's Wall Street's Bets. All right, what that is a website to where people go when they put their comments. Well, this guy that got involved with GameStop decided that they were going to expand GameStop. He bought into the company and says, hey, I think we need to go online with a bunch of these services to make GameStop better so it won't. You remember the video company years ago that was it Blockbuster Video that faded away with the time because it just didn't evolve to the new ways? Wasn't that the one that was on every corner?
Blockbuster was. I worked at the Video Giant. I don't know if you remember.
But those went away.
Yeah.
So now, with GameStop and things are going more online. So this guy invests in the company. Well, somebody gets on Reddit and says, hey, we need to invest in this. So more people got to watching the thread, and they all invested in it, and the stock started rising. Well, your Wall Street boys that control everything decide they don't like that. So they come in and going to shorten it. And I thought, what in the world is shortened? So I got to looking and I dug around. It's when you go in and you buy a stock and say it gives it 20 days if it crashes. If you pay $20 for it, if you buy this extra part with it, if it goes down to $5, you can still sell it for $20 at what you bought it for. It's kind of like an insurance policy.
Yeah,
but the
to
thing
ensure you get your money.
Right,
yeah.
But it has a time limit on it. So Wall Street invests billions of dollars to take down the GameStop. Well, the people on Reddit did not back their money out of it, and all of those people on Wall Street lost their money because that time expired. So they're outdoing them. They would have
known about the time expiration.
Well, they were betting that it was going to fall.
Oh, okay.
So there's no way to know it, but they took that bet of whether it was 10, 20, 30 days. I'm not sure what the timeline on it is, but it went past that. So long as no one takes their money out of it or sells their stock, it's still worth something. And it's still holding on. And now they're looking at maybe doing American Airlines this way. It's a back hole around all these people that control everything.
I heard a guy talking this morning about it, and he said that when he first got into the stock of GameStop, it was $3 and something.
He's made money.
Yeah, well, and then he said it jumped up to, or they were trying to buy everybody's stock back, and they were going to buy it. GameStop was. I think they had offered to buy it back at $4. So he thought, well, I might better take that. But he said, no, I didn't. I just held out. He said, then it went up to $36 a share, just jumped up. And so he thought, you know what, I better get out while the getting's good, So he got out of it. And then it all of a sudden jumped up to 300 and something per share. So he said he got out way too soon.
The only thing that I've ever done was when Facebook was going live, me and Dylan talked about it, and it was projected to go at 38, something like that. So I had $3,000. So I took it and it went for $40 a share. Now today it's like $278. So I did. That's the only time in my life I've ever made a little bit. My little $3,000 is worth 20 something now.
That's good.
So raw.
But can you pull it out?
You can
pull
sell
that
it.
20,000?
You sell it.
Okay.
You have to sell your stock to get your money back.
Okay.
But I'm not an investor. and if you're watching and you are a investor and you know something that I didn't say right, correct me. Put that in the comments because it's a learning experience for me. I'm not an expert.
I would like to get into learning about it more.
You can do good or you can lose your britches.
Start out small. Yeah.
Small thoughts. That'd be me as well.
Yeah, that's what I'd have
So
to do.
those are some of the national headlines that are kind of making their way. And what's going to happen, we don't know with all of these stocks that are invested in gasoline and things like that. That is something to worry about. And we'll get into that, some headlines of what's going on. This administration that is now taking over the United States is slapping executive orders every day. I mean, it's something new.
Yeah.
I got a text in the middle of the night. I didn't even read it. I hadn't looked at it to see what he'd done last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he pretty much kind of insinuated before the election that Donald Trump was like a dictator doing all the executive orders that he did, you know, and he didn't even do as many.
No, Donald ain't in the ball game with that.
So.
Now, I bring this next up, and because this has been floating around a lot, and I went to the actual Homeland Security website to pull this up. Terrorism, they send out alerts when things are. This is a domestic terrorism BOLO, I guess is what you would call that, to where you can go and read of what they're suggesting are threats in the United States. And if you read this closely, it doesn't call out anyone by name or people that followed certain candidates in the last election, but it leans toward that. It's one of these things, if you see something reported, and we've talked about that, of how America, they're setting you up to where it's okay to turn your neighbor in if you think they've done something wrong. But this goes into, it's a lot of detail. Read it for yourself. Interpret it for yourself. It's on their page at dhs.gov and advisories.
Now, this first one, throughout 2020, domestic violent extremists targeted individuals with opposing views. And to me, that's kind of what's happening to the people who are more on the conservative side, right? To me, that's what's happening to them. So are we supposed to call those other people domestic terrorists? You know?
Good question.
Okay. Engaged in the First Amendment protected.
Now, what happened in El Paso, Texas in 19? Because I am not familiar. 23 people killed? What was it in El Paso?
I don't know.
Did I forget something?
I don't know. I have not seen that. So...
But, you know, and then they go into talking about they were expected things to go wrong on January the 6th. It did not, but they still feel that it is a threat nationally from the events of that day is what that is basically saying. So read that for yourself, just so you'll be informed. There's several interpretations online that you can read and get more into this, but it's always good to be informed of what's going on.
It is.
To my knowledge, there was none of these released on the Antifa threats of cities. I could be wrong. I don't remember seeing that floating around about that when they were burning Seattle and Portland and all those areas.
Well, this one down here, it says the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, remains committed to preventing violence and threats meant to intimidate or coerce specific populations. I
don't know who they're referring to because
they
don't spell that out.
It's kind of vague. I mean, I don't know why they just don't put it out there.
All Americans should feel safe.
Right.
So,
I mean, this Antifa stuff, all that mess that's been happening, all the rioting and stuff, I don't know why, if the Department of Homeland Security can put it on a website, why can't somebody go on the TV that everybody watches
and say this?
And say it by mouth, you know.
Yeah.
State it.
I'm
going to knock this microphone off.
Well, our new president has not done that.
No, he hasn't. And to my knowledge, nobody has on that side that I can have seen. So I don't know.
We'll watch it, and again, just read things for yourself as they come up, so you can interpret and take it the way you want to. That's what we highly suggest. Well, let's see what went on today. Let's get into a few things that happened on this. Do you remember this lady?
The name sounds familiar, and I'm sure if she was on this Hee Haw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure if she was on there, I saw her. So
now she's not a Nurse Goodbody, and we all remember Nurse Goodbody from Hee Haw.
Yeah.
Hee Haw, the Hee
blonde,
Haw, the Hee Haw honeys. course, they were great. That's the only reason I watched it as a kid.
I'm sure.
Barbie Benton, but she's celebrating a birthday today and getting up in age. It was 1983. Do y'all remember this? Alabama released Dixieland Delight.
I love that song.
It was great.
It's a really good song.
And so would a song like that be released now with the cancel culture, I ask? Do you think it would be?
It should be.
Is that offensive to you, Dixieland?
No, it is not offensive to me. I mean, these are our roots, y'all. I mean, these are our Southern roots.
I know.
Everything that, I don't know.
That's the way it is.
I guess we're all supposed to just be not proud of where we came from. I don't know.
And if
I'm sorry, I ain't gonna.
Well, that's right. Be proud of who
I'm not
you
gonna,
are.
bend and break. So.
Each culture has a right to believe in something.
Right.
I remember this, and to this day, I still don't want to hear it because it was played so many times when we were younger. It was this date that 1985, We Are the World was recorded. Stevie, Michael, I think Michael actually wrote the song. And then he got 50, 60, 80, 100 people, and they all came in and sang that and gave that to charity.
Yeah, I remember when that song came out, and I liked it, but after hearing it for
Yeah, I know.
millions, it seems like millions of times.
Now, I had forgotten Willie, Kenny Rogers, and Waylon were on there. I totally forgot about that.
They had all kinds on there, like all kind of artists.
I don't know what they let Bob Dylan do because he would have really been off key.
He probably just talked a little bit.
Bless his heart. How did he get to be such a star?
I think he said, "We are the world."
That had to be. That boy was
Yeah,
rough.
I'm sorry. I'm not a good Bob Dylan.
He was not my favorite.
Yeah, that's not my kind of singing, so whatever.
I was in 11th grade when this happened, and we all stood in shock when this happened. Do you remember this?
Yes, this was horrible. I think I was in science class at school, and we were watching this, and everybody was so excited because it was the first teacher that had gone up in space, and that was a horrific thing that happened.
73 seconds after takeoff, it exploded.
Because at first we were like, I wasn't real sure what had happened,
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, was that supposed to happen? And
then
then we were like, oh my gosh, it was awful.
Now, the world stood still then.
Yes. It was bad.
Shocking. And
Krista McAuliffe.
was that her name?
Mm-hmm. Krista McAuliffe. She was a teacher.
So keep those, the families, although it's been years now, pain's still there.
I can't even imagine being a child and watching your mother go up, or your parent, or any loved one, anybody that you care about, something like that happening to you. So
It was 2002, and the reason this song was such a hit because everybody can relate. You remember the very first time you sat behind the wheel and learned to drive?
Oh, yeah. I was driving, like, sitting on my granddaddy's leg,
See?
which we shouldn't have been. We didn't have to wear seatbelts back then, though. So
I think everybody our age done that.
yeah. But I loved, the time when I first got to drive right by myself.
Yeah.
It was fun. So.
That was Alan Jackson's 20th #1 song with Drive. And Just an Old Boat. Well, that was a great, great song.
I know.
And you do learn how to drive from lawnmowers and boats and things like that. It does teach you.
I love songs like that you can relate to.
Yeah.
And all of his songs are so good.
Alan
Jackson.
was so talented in those areas. That's what separated him from the pack.
Yeah.
It was 2009 that the keyboard player for Leonard Skinner passed away. Of course, he survived the crash. And I did not realize that he'd played the keyboard on Pretty
Kid
Boy,
Rock.
Kid Rocks all summer long. He played that part, where it does the Sweet Home Alabama? He played in that.
Okay.
So he passed away in
Neat
09.
thing.
Leonard Skinner, it was big.
Yeah.
So that's a few of the things that happened on this day in history. Nothing dramatic, nothing jumping out at us this morning has happened. So we went back in time in history. So here's our next topic. And I don't know, I've looked everywhere, Candace, and I can't find the names.
Yeah. My mother called me last night. She goes, "You don't have any of that hand sanitizer from Mexico, do you?" And I said, "Mama, I don't know where it's from. I mean, well, you better be looking."
I never read the bottle. We've gone so long without it. You see a bottle, you grab it, and you buy it, and you use it.
Yeah. And sometimes I've bought them that people have like prepackaged in their store. Maybe they bought a big thing of it and just put it in little 8-ounce bottles or something like that. I've bought those. But I tell you what does make me leery, and I've seen it in a few stores.
What's that?
Most hand sanitizers are clear.
Yeah.
Like you can
See the gel, the sparkly.
Right, it's clear looking. If it's foggy looking, that kind of makes me a little bit leery of it. So
Now, if anyone has seen the actual list of the names or the brands,
Yeah.
drop that in the links because I could not find it. I went to the FDA and I kept looking for a link, and maybe I overlooked it. I'm not saying it's not there. I could not find it.
yeah, I've even made my own, like with like alcohol, like
I've heard you can do that.
91% alcohol. I mix it with a little bit of, because you can do that. You know, when all this mess first happened,
There was none.
you could find no alcohol hardly, and I finally found a few bottles, but you can mix it with some aloe vera gel, just a little bit to make it a little thicker consistency. I do that. If you kind of, are leery of buying some, you make your own.
That's understandable. Okay.
Anyway.
Learning a little bit more there.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got going on today here. Well, this is happening across America with companies that until we open our doors and go back to regular business, it's going to be more people fall. A beer company, Olympia Beer, which I've never heard of, but apparently it's been around a while.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either, though.
Is a northern beer, a 125-year-old company. Pabst Blue Ribbon bought them out a few years back, about 20 years ago, and they can't go on, and they've got to cease production until life goes back to normal. They're losing money.
Well, I know there's a lot of businesses that are like that right now.
And if it wasn't for probably Pabst Blue Ribbon owning it, it would cease to exist. They can at least sit and hold on to it till times get better, but we'll watch that. Tragedy hit America again yesterday. Were you watching this news story as it unfolded?
No, I wasn't.
This guy goes into, it was a children's clinic, 4:30 in the afternoon. A few weeks before, he'd gone in and put an application. He was a doctor. Put an application. They didn't hire him. Well, he comes back. I think it was it Monday? What is today? Thursday. So
Because he was going to work just as a volunteer.
Correct.
Right?
Well,
Okay.
they don't hire him. He goes back. He's mad. He takes 5 or 6 employees hostage. A few of them escaped. A couple of them he let out. And this doctor here, he ends up killing her, shoots her. It turns out he had been diagnosed as having cancer, and he was not probably mentally stable, and he was mad because they didn't hire him. He ended up, I think, killing himself as well.
She was a mother of 3.
I think, 43? Yeah, 43 years old. For what? What did this man gain out of this?
That's awful. Just horrible. I mean, just craziness.
It's bad enough that they do it to themselves, but to hurt others, to take them with them.
I've never understood that. Like, why people will do, like, harm other people and kill other people, and then they end up killing themselves. Like, what is the whole idea behind
It's
that?
not
I guess
gonna
it's
fit
just
your
It is
situation.
a mental illness, I guess. I mean, it's the only thing you can really chalk it up to. I mean, I don't understand why. It's an awful thing, though.
It is.
Do
You do, and watch this. And I say this because it was. You ever been driving along in the middle of nowhere and it was just kind of weird, just a weird experience.
Yeah.
There are folks that do have mental issues out there that if you try to help them, they can harm you.
Yeah.
I had gone to pay my little bit of land taxes that I've got in Kemper County, and I took a shortcut back, and I was in the middle of nowhere. And, if you come along, you see somebody's car broke down, and then you see them walking on down the road, you'd stop and help them.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of nowhere.
It's Southern hospitality.
It is.
Yeah.
And it was just, you ever get that feeling of, I don't need to stop?
Yeah.
It was a guy trying to stop me, and every inch of my body said, do not do that. And I kept going. I just waved at him. I don't know what he was doing. It may be wrong as a Christian not to have stopped, but something, my radar said, it ain't right. And I just kept going.
Yeah.
And it's better safe than sorry, I guess, in a situation like that.
Yeah, because, and especially like women, if you're by yourself
Yeah.
and stuff, like, even if you have protection of a gun with you,
Don't mean you can get to it in
know,
time.
yeah, that's right. I mean, just don't take that chance.
I had pulled over. I was going to, this was about 3 years ago, I pulled over on the side of the road somewhere, and I was trying to find directions. I was going somewhere in Alabama, a little old bitty tiny road, and I was staring at my phone trying to find the map to see the road. And somebody pecked on my window. I come out of the bushes.
That happened to me at the mall one time.
And he was
Scared me.
drunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I cracked the window about yay far and had my hand on my, but it ended okay. He was just drinking.
Well, that makes me mad now, because this happened to me at Walmart. It's happened to me at the mall. and they'll be asking for money.
Yeah,
and
come up and beat on your
I'm all
window.
about helping somebody.
Correct.
But you don't come up to a woman that's by herself. You don't, or
No.
anybody for that matter. You just don't just show up in their face all of a sudden,
Right.
But if you have that feeling, like Scotty Ray was saying, just don't even take the chance.
Yeah,
It's scary.
there's something about that sense. It's not 100% all the time.
Right. If you're around a group of people
Yeah.
and you feel a little more safe, and you want to help somebody, that's a different story. But
If you get that inkling, pay attention to your senses is
That's
all
right.
we're saying. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about things that go on in Collinsville, Mississippi. Joe, have you been to visit Joe lately? I'm telling you, one of the greatest places that you can do your grocery shopping, where they constantly save you money each week. One of the cleanest stores you're ever going to bump into.
It is spotless.
Family
Spotless.
owned.
It is. Everybody's so nice when you walk in, and if Joe's there, he's always going to speak and say, how you doing? And
Yeah.
So they'll take good care of you up there.
This week, yellow onions, $1.39 a pound for that 3-pound bag. You can get those navel oranges, a 4-pound bag for $3.99. Also, the bell peppers, still 89 cents each this week. You can get the chicken noodle, cream of mushroom. You can get that for $1.39 a can. Let's see here what else we got. The Piggly Wiggly barbecue sauce, $1. Yeah, that's a bargain. Also,
Yes.
the Piggly Wiggly tomato ketchup, $2.49. Let's see what else we got. Oh, some Dixie Crystals. Get that 4-pound bag for $2.29. Also, the saltine crackers, 89. You just can't have chili without crackers.
I know, and soup too. I like the soups, but yeah.
So make sure you got it. And unlike me, who you realize when you get the bowl, oh, there's none here.
Or if you want a good snack now, a little snack late at night, get you some saltine crackers. This was one of my grandmother's things.
Yeah.
Smear a little peanut butter on it. Put you some little little marshmallows
Yeah.
on there. Pop it in the oven and just melt the marshmallows into the peanut
Well,
butter.
see,
So good.
I really thought you were
So
fixing to
good.
go into my type of eating and bring up potted meat with crackers because
really?
I'm telling you, that is a great meal.
That too, but we call it the Ethel Special because my grandmother's
Ethel
name.
Special.
The Ethel Special. That's
You can get the margarine spread for $1.99. Also this week, the Oscar Mayer wieners, $3.29. Make a great quick meal.
Mm-hmm.
Also the brine slice bacon, $3.29. And the rump roast, $3.99 a pound. You can get the sirloin tip roast, and that price is not correct. I did not correct that. But they have sirloin tip roast. I don't think that's right. I'll check into that and fix that. Okay. Also, you got the Piggly Wiggly, of course, Coca-Cola products, 3 for $12. And drinking water, 3 for $10. Mm-hmm. That's just some of the bargains that you'll pick up on while you're there. Always a deal at Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville. And I said, great folks that really want to earn your business because they're going to be there today, tomorrow, and that next day because, well, they live there too.
That's right. And when you go up there, you're supporting local businesses.
Yeah.
And so go shop local.
Yeah. Anytime you can, especially now, shop local, take care of our folks. All right, here's another swipe of a pen that is going out there. And this is what's really got Americans concerned, the climate change orders. This is going to stop all of these land leases where they're drilling and things, and it's going to affect a lot of jobs. Yeah. So be aware of what's going on in the White House because it's so easy to go, well, I don't support him. I don't care what he's doing.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what they're doing to you.
Because, I mean, even when you think it just affects this one industry, it's kind of a snowball effect.
The domino.
This will affect this industry, but then it also plays into another one and another one and another, and so there's just a lot of people's jobs and their livelihoods and everything, families on the line.
The next thing about this, and things like this seem to bother me more than other things because, you go back to Rome. Rome was probably the greatest thing that had ever been on this earth before. And eventually Rome destroyed itself. And this concerns me that this could happen to America with our next story here. San Francisco has renamed 44 schools because they felt that the names of the schools were people that were bad. And we're talking Abraham Lincoln and George Washington here among the people that these schools were named after, and they felt they had to go away. George Washington was a hero. I don't care what anybody says in this land. He was, along with Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Of course, he was on a different side than where my family roots come from, but that's okay. But he did so much for the nation to preserve the Union, and then they're just going to wipe it away because somebody in this culture doesn't like it.
You know what I don't understand? I mean, who are we raising in this country? What kind of kids are we? Are you raising people to not even have a backbone?
Well, apparently.
Because, really, can you not take anything? I mean, suck it up.
Yeah.
And deal with it.
But,
I mean, and teach your children to be tough, and you have to deal with things you don't want to deal with. If something offends you.
But that starts in Little League to where everybody gets a trophy.
It does, and it started a long time ago, but it's parents. It's not the government's job. It's
That's
not
right.
the city's job. It's the parents' job to teach their children.
And to raise them.
To raise them in a correct way, to raise them to be tough, because I've always told mine, life's tough. If they start whining about, oh, I want to do this, I want to do, I'm like, you know what? I didn't ask you if you wanted to do it. I said do it, because you're not going to want to do a lot of things in life.
There's not a village to raise your kids. It's you.
Right. Because if you get a job, does your boss go, you know what? I was kind of thinking I needed you to do something today. I was going to ask you if you want to. They're not going to do that.
No.
They're going to say, do this job and do it right. And if you don't, you're
gone. That's reality.
So,
but what that leads to in the
glass.
long run is there will be no jobs if that keeps going.
Right. And the government, and that's exactly what they want.
And that's what happened to Rome. It fell.
Everything has to be convenient. And I wrote a paper on this a long time ago when I was in about.
We're going back to English.
Well, no, it's about the convenience of society, how the internet came into play, and
And it did make life great.
Right, and where you look at it as it's a few steps forward for society, it really is more steps back.
I have to agree with that.
Right,
because it's used the wrong way a lot of times by a certain group of people.
It makes you weak. I mean, what you think has made better. The convenience has made everybody weak.
You sold encyclopedias, didn't you? Now, that's what this is really all
but
about.
I'm just saying, it's just I don't know. Parents, it's our jobs to try to make sure that our kids have a backbone to be able to deal with things, because everything's not going to be easy.
You bring that up, and this while you were saying that, it popped in my mind when I said that encyclopedia thing. Mm-hmm. As a kid, they used to come knock on your door and sell you encyclopedias.
We had a big old set of them,
You don't see the door-to-door salesman anymore. The last thing that I saw was a vacuum cleaner person.
Yeah.
Now, do you have anybody else come to your door anymore and try to sell products?
No, I think the last person tried to sell us some steaks or something years ago, and he got mad because I didn't want him coming up in my house laying them all out. I'm sorry, I didn't want no steaks.
Yeah, get out.
I want you to come
I'll
in
go
my
to the
house.
store and get it.
But yeah, but talking about encyclopedias, I mean, we had to look everything up by the book, and I was thinking the other day, because everything is so monitored now. I was thinking, I'd like to look this up to see if this is really, against the law, or if it's law, if it's the law. And then I thought, well, if I look this up, somebody's probably monitoring it,
Oh, yeah.
So I guess I'll have to go to the Meridian Public Library and look it up,
Well, then they watch you on the video feed
Yeah.
and trace it back to you.
But, I mean, it's really gotten ridiculous.
It has.
So.
Somebody asked us at Piglet, and I have to ask Joe about this, if they're going to have the steak eating contest this year. I don't know. I'll have to. He's done it every year, so I'll have to ask Joe if he's still going to do that.
I've never watched that. I mean, that would. I kind of don't know if
Lee Taylor,
I could take it.
of the folks that know Lee Taylor that used to work with me in radio, and I think Lee became a pastor after that. Lee won it for 3, 4, 5 years in a row.
Oh, really?
I mean, that boy could put down I'm wondering
I don't see
if
how they don't
Lee's-
get choked to death eating
You have to
anything in a
practice.
contest like that. It's just
like
crazy.
that world champion hot dog eater that's eating like
Oh, yeah.
200-300.
But then you excuse me for a minute, I got to go.
Yeah.
He's sick.
How do you train for that?
I don't know.
It's good.
It kind of makes me nauseated watching them cram that food in their mouth.
Good morning, Linda Jane. Hope y'all are doing well. And out in the Giles community of Kemper County, I guess is what you'd call that neck of the woods. Also, morning to Gail. Also, Scott. Hope you're doing well this morning.
Good
Also,
morning to y'all.
let's see here. What else we got shaking in the big wide? This is almost comical because I guess somebody did not go back and go through and read the resumes very good.
Huh.
Joe's interpreter that's going to do his sign language was a Donald Trump supporter, and after she's been hired, now they have figured it out. She's run a bunch of websites for Donald people, I guess you would call it that, or Donald Trump supporters. No word yet if she's fixing to be exiting the building or not, but every time you see her doing that...
Wouldn't that be so funny if, because I don't know sign language.
I have no clue
What
either.
if she was over there going, vote for Trump, vote for Trump.
That would be cute.
Don't listen to him, vote for Trump.
And our...
You don't know. I mean, that's just like crazy. I wish I did know sign language.
Did Tate Reeves' interpreter ever get a haircut?
I don't know, but people gave that man complete grief. Like, that was awful.
About his hair?
Yeah, just because he had, it wasn't the best hairstyle, but, I thought he was doing a good thing, and then people talked about him wearing black, and he was wearing all black. I mean, that's like goth or something,
Yeah, but he did have the stringy. It almost looked greasy to a degree.
But
I ain't running him down.
From what I understand, the wearing all black was so that
looked skinnier.
Nothing was taking away anybody's attention from his hands.
Huh, I didn't think of it that way.
His hands would be the main focus. So
somebody told me I shouldn't wear black, but it didn't look good on me. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen you wearing black.
I got a couple black button downs, and I got one of those. What do you call those? Izod or whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
The 8 shirts.
Yeah,
the collar. I don't know what you call those shirts. Angie got me a few of them for Christmas. But so maybe black is not my color.
I have a lot of black stuff.
Does it really make you look skinnier?
Like at one time, I looked like I was just ready for the funerals all the time, huh?
Does black actually make you look skinnier?
It's supposed to be a slimming color, yeah.
Because you can't follow the lines on somebody? Is that it?
I guess. I don't know. It just... But,
we could do an experiment and let you change clothes and go skinny or not.
This isn't black, but it's like I don't know what color this is. It's
brownish.
Between a gray, I don't know what color it is. Between a gray and a dark green or something. But I wear a lot of black. I mean,
small thoughts.
And I probably need to now. If it slims you down, I need to dress from head to toe in it. Probably.
I got to start back on that exercise thing of walking again.
I got on the scales the other day, and I wanted to take a big old hammer to them after I got off of them.
If you tape them, you don't. If you just don't get on them, it doesn't. You don't get depressed.
Well, I got on there, and I knew that I'd probably gained, or maybe I was the same as what I was, and then I got on there and I gained like 6 pounds, and I'm like, this is wrong. This is not right. Your scales are wrong.
Did you get off, take your shoes off, that kind of thing?
No, I didn't take my shoes off, but surely to goodness, my shoes did not weigh 6 pounds.
Debbie used to always joke about when she'd go to the doctor about anything she could take off to weigh less, so
Let me take this necklace.
Yeah,
Let me take these earrings.
Weighs a quarter of a.
Yeah, I've gained.
But I'm going to tell you, I might be a fat boy now, but I sure am happy.
I'm blaming it on my hormones.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, either that or I'm going to have to get my mouth wired shut. Which a lot of people might like that. They might like, that I don't run my mouth anymore.
Oh, no. They enjoy listening to you. Our next story says, and we're talking Senator Tom Cotton. He says it's time for the troops to go home. There is no threat in Washington. Let the boys go back home.
Yeah, I listened the other day, and somebody was saying that they were wanting the troops to stay there through the end of March.
Why?
I don't know. That puzzled me. I didn't understand why end of March.
And again, let me say the only reason the Capitol was breached because no one was standing there. That was done purposely. People were let in the mob went wild, and there was some Antifa mixed in with some people that got caught up in the moment. Yeah,
and somebody yesterday that I work with, she showed me this post that somebody had made in front of the White House, not like directly in front, but on out in front.
Another fence?
Well, it was not a fence. It was like a building, and somebody, if anybody has any pictures of that, you might want to post it. It looked like they were constructing some kind of a building of some sort. And,
on the White House
somebody
lawn?
had put on there that it looked like a jail or something. It was weird.
Facebook jail.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what we were joking about. Yeah, that's right. But I don't know what it is, and if it was maybe a photoshopped picture, I don't know. But it was kind of odd. If anybody else has a,
I've heard more and more there's going to be more fences, which is ironic to a new president wants to tear down a border wall that wants to surround with more. I mean, you look at this here, keeping people out away from them.
Right.
It's what's good for the goose. Just small thoughts. It's not, I didn't say it was accurate. This is a tragic story that comes up. A father has been charged with murder. What the girl done was she snuck this boy into the house after everybody had gone to bed. He doesn't look young to me at all. Hides him in the closet. The dad comes in, and some altercation happened. He shot him.
Yeah, that is a horrible thing. But I can say, as a parent, I don't know what I would do. I can tell you what I mean. I don't know that I would kill somebody.
Right, but I don't know.
But I might maim somebody.
I don't know the rest of the story, if there was, a struggle or if he just, I don't, maybe he thought it was a burglar hiding. You don't know of the full details. We won't know that until it goes to court.
That's horrible. Yeah. Horrible. I'm not saying anything, but I, as a parent though, I'm not trying to take up for him, but like if somebody, because I was just really pretty strict about stuff like that. And if I woke up and anybody, like guy-wise, was in my daughter's bedroom, they would probably
Now, this has probably
my
been
wrath.
20-something years ago. I knew a guy that someone was crawling through the window of his daughter, and he shot and killed him, and it ended up she was sneaking him in, too.
Yeah.
The daddy didn't know it.
But that's scary
and shot
because
the
you
guy.
might think that somebody breaking in your home.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he did. And,
yeah.
and after court, it was ruled that's what he thought, and he was
That's
cleared of all
horrible.
charges. And it's horrible for the for the family of the one that gets lost. But
Yeah.
think before you go crawling through a window is what we're trying to push here.
Yeah.
And the daughter is at just as much fault for
Right.
allowing it to go on instead of going, "Hey, my
Right.
daddy probably wouldn't like this." Our next story, I want to say that there's probably video clip out there where it says, "No, we're not going to do that," or "We're not answering that." I think we got our answer now. Biden, and when they say they're looking into it, means that it's just days before they probably announce who's going to be on the committee about packing the courts and redoing the Supreme Court to pack it with people they want.
Yeah.
So be ready. That is in the works. It has not happened. I'm just saying that that's in the works.
Yeah, they never really would give a straightforward answer about court packing when all the debating
Right.
was going on. And there was a clip shown on TV this morning of Joe Biden, and it was like years ago. He was young,
Yeah.
He was talking about court packing, and he was talking about how they could do that, but that would be the worst thing that ever happened. They should not do that. And now,
and it is looking like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is almost like the movie that came true to reality, but just with a different star. Remember the Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard?
Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, and you got to give credit where credit. Whitney Houston sang that song like there's
yeah.
nobody's business. I'll always love you.
She could sing anything.
She
and it
could.
sounded like a
Well,
angel.
Pam Anderson has spent too much time alone and found out that her bodyguard is a hot hunk and has married him.
Wonder
So
how-
there you go.
maybe that'll last long.
We don't know what the odds of it lasting, though. There could
Yeah.
be some bookie joints on this one also out there that we're not aware of.
Could be.
So it's just amazing what goes on behind the scenes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we think. Now, this makes you go ponder because you hear, and I say this not jokingly, but sometimes, you hear conspiracy theories that, well, maybe there's a little bit of truth to it out there somewhere, maybe an inch of it. But this makes you go, okay, is there something more to this? Because this doesn't add up. A second D.C. policeman has committed suicide that worked at the Capitol. A second one. Why?
That is, I don't know. That is just crazy.
Now, did he?
But it makes you wonder, like,
Did he know something he
some
shouldn't?
of these. Well, I mean, it makes me question if things are really suicides.
That's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at on there.
Yeah, is it really a suicide, or could something else have
How many
gone
times?
down?
Like, think back years ago when we watched Will Smith. What was the movie that he was in? Enemy of the State. And you watched that and you thought, there's no way they could do all that.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, everything that was in that movie is very possible, of the satellite tracking, putting pins on your clothes, doing away with you
Yeah.
can be destroyed. And at that point in time when I watched, I thought, And then we found out about Edward Snowden. He told us the real truth, what goes on. That can happen to you. If you get the wrong person after you, and I'm not saying this happened there, it's just
Right.
it's just an odd instance.
Because, I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you? What it was so awful that it would make you go to that.
It's just somebody that breached the Capitol.
I just think maybe possibly
It could be more
he
to it.
knew
Something.
something. Maybe he was going to say something.
Something. There you go. Something to think on there. As we go to our next story, and condolences on this one.
Yes.
Do you pronounce her first name Cloris?
Cloris Leachman. She was on Dancing with the Stars. Do you remember
No,
that?
I've never watched Dancing
It
with the
was
Stars.
several seasons back, but she was on there, and she was always so energetic, and she's always had a smile on her face, and
Now, she was on the Mary Tyler Moore show, wasn't she?
she was the neighbor or something.
Okay. But condolences to her. That and they changed up whoever MCs that show, Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Why? Did they ever really say why they got rid of that older guy that used to do that?
I don't know, Tom Bergeron or
Yeah.
Bert, whatever.
And
his
he'd done
name
it since it started, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he's
He
gone
had.
now.
And that Erin, whatever her last name was, that was the sports reporter, Erin.
the one with
she
the-
was, she was his partner on there, that she commentated with them and stuff. But
she's the one that got all the money from the hotel of the
yeah,
employee
where
that took the pictures.
They were looking at her through the taking pictures of her.
Now, we all know this movie, and I'm going to rely on Candace once again to go to the pronunciation department.
This was the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. The rumor is no one even knew he was married, but he's been married for 3 years, and, well, he don't like her no more. He's getting rid of her.
He's divorcing.
Yeah. That shocked me. And
that was a good movie.
He had dated someone else for a long time that was famous that I did recognize the name, and then he ended up marrying this other woman.
I don't know.
Probably one of the best movies you'll ever watch.
It was
Candace.
a really good movie. It had Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. So y'all watch that if you get a chance. Now, there are no details on this next story, and you scratch your heads a lot of times with crimes and murders, and you go, why? And I guess in some sick, formed way they had a reason for doing whatever they did. But a 70-year-old man, it's a manhunt on in Tennessee. Now, as of 4:30 this morning, when I was going through everything, they had not caught this man. But he killed 2 duck hunters. They were 25 years old and 26 years old, shot them dead, and I think with a shotgun. No reason why he would have. I don't know if it was they were trespassing or whatever, but he's on the lam, and that's the guy they're looking for there in Tennessee. Very strange. Not all the details are out on that just yet.
That's awful.
It is.
But some people are crazy when you get on their property.
But 70? I mean, why start then to do something? How could something escalate to that?
I don't know. That's awful, though.
Now, we all know that the moon affects the way the ocean moves back and forth, and they say it has something to do with people's temperaments, too, and the way they act. Are they scared, or you get wilder? But now they're saying this, Candace, look at this. Could it affect your sleep?
I don't know, but I can tell you what it don't affect.
What's that?
When you're pregnant, like 42 weeks pregnant, and people are saying, oh, it's a full moon, you're going to have that baby tonight. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
No. But I don't know about the sleeping thing.
They say that you stay up later when the full moon is out, and you don't sleep as much. After I don't know how many people they surveyed to do this little thing, but they say that it does affect you. So keep that in mind. And we've got the full moon coming up right now.
Oh, really? That'd be a good,
Because it was cloudy yesterday. You could almost have 10 minutes more of hunting time, but the clouds were blocking the old moon there. I could see it in the bushes.
I love a good bright full moon. That is so pretty to me.
And there's times you can walk out at midnight and it looks like daylight.
I know, or like my blinds, and it just looks like there's daylight outside. Laying it. Because this morning I got up and it was still dark, but it was a good bit of light.
So I guess you know what the harvest moon means.
Yeah, what it means? No, what?
People used to harvest their crops by the light of the moon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when that full moon hit, they could work later and keep going and get their crops more.
Have you ever seen like a humongous, big orange moon?
Yes.
That through the trees, it looks
Beautiful.
like it's just sitting on the ground almost. Yeah, that is so pretty.
So
I love that.
Take a picture, enjoy life. Now, you don't expect something like this to happen. You only hear about these kind of stories way off, and this could never happen. This is horrible. You go to the dentist. I believe this was a little girl was given a shot for anesthesia to have some teeth work done, and it killed her.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, she was going to have a tooth pulled.
Allergic to it or something. Or if it was the wrong medicine or something. Who knows? Yeah. I know.
This is not the first time this has happened, but it's just you don't expect that.
Right. That's scary.
It is.
I know years ago there was some kind of somebody was supposed to have oral surgery or something. It was a young girl. And I think they put her put a bag of fluids up. It was supposed to be just saline, I think, or something. It not harmful. And
got
somebody
confused.
Well, somebody put a bag of, I think it was glucose.
Oh.
And sent her blood sugar skyrocket. It was horrible, but that was a mistake. And that's awful. So that's scary. Stuff can happen. Who knows about that? If it was the wrong thing.
Have you ever?
She was allergic or something.
Have you ever had a bobblehead? Because I haven't.
No.
No, wait a minute. I take it back. I had a deer one time that sat on my dash in my 4-wheel drive, and when you went down the road, the horns rubbed a tree. It was
really?
probably the coolest thing I ever had.
No, I have not. I had a customer that had a little daisy on her dash, and while I was doing her hair, you could see her car parked out there, and the little thing
daisy
would just be moving. Yeah.
Well, here's the one that is selling nationwide like crazy: the new Bernie bobblehead.
Oh.
So have you gotten yours yet?
I need me some mittens like Bernie's.
Now, and again, I have to give Bernie kudos.
Mm-hmm.
The money's going to Wheels on Meals there, and they've raised $10,000 so far to go to the Meals on Wheels there in Vermont to help people.
That is good. I will say that's a good thing, helping people.
Bernie may not be everything I want, but he has done really well with this.
If they could do more of things like that to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, all that billions of dollars that's being funneled in from different areas or going to areas that you think, like.
In this past, and I bring this, but like all the money that's pumped into all of these elections, it almost like there needs to be a cap. You can only spend X amount. Any extra money goes to charity to help these people.
Yeah.
Just a small. Did you see where Ted Cruz, it's not going to go anywhere, and then there's the other side that's going to say, well, Ted only introduced this so he could say he done it.
Yeah.
Where he's introduced to where there'd be term limits. He has proposed that. It'll go nowhere because they're not going to put themselves out of a job.
Yeah.
But he did throw it out there and is trying. I'll say that for Ted.
We want to tell y'all about Tiffany Blue.
Oh, Tiffany.
Tiffany Blue Decor Boutique. She is going to be having sales on artwork, and it starts tomorrow. There's farmhouse and artwork on these sales.
Right.
It's original art. She even does her own artwork.
You see, I didn't know that, Tiffany.
Yeah, she has some beautiful things in there. She has new arrivals every week. And if you go to, I think it's Tiffany Blue on Facebook, and you register, you will get a 10% discount when you go up to the register at the Atrium. But she's located in the Atrium Mall at North Hills. It's 5009 Highway 493. If y'all haven't been in there, y'all need to go see it.
Yeah, and here's some different pictures. There's another picture there of what she offers there. Art, you can find a whole lot of that.
I mean, it's rustic. She has a modern artwork, just a lot of things in there you need to go look and check out. So
go by and visit them this weekend there at the Atrium, and she'd love to see you. Come by and visit with them and get you some art, get all taken care of.
Yes.
Now, we are this is Thursday, correct? Am I?
It is Thursday, the 28th.
As we get ready for Friday to end the week, and then the course this weekend is the end of the month. Gone, we're into February. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. I just cannot believe how time is just flying right on by.
Woo. So today, again, cool 49 is what we're expecting for the high. Let me check over here and see what we're sitting at right now on our temperature-wise. Let me flip a button here. Meridian currently at 38. Wind chill still sitting at 29 degrees, so it's not warmed up hardly any. Again, wind gust today of 25 miles an hour. That's whipping. If you got to be out in that, it's horrible.
Yes, I hope nobody has to be. But there'll be workers out in it.
Yeah.
I always feel awful for the garbage people picking up the garbage and having to ride on the back of that truck. Ugh.
That's worse than the mailman.
I have given them some hand warmer, the hot hands things. That is, I just feel for them. I hate it.
Because rain, sleet, or snow, they got to get out in it.
They do.
Have mercy.
Which I know sounds crazy, but they need to do something to help them, not have to be out there freezing to death. I don't know any other way to do it, though, I guess.
There's not. There's just some jobs that you got to...
Thank you, though, for the people who do that.
That you got to man up and face it.
That's right. Yep.
I ain't going to fight him over that job, though.
No. Glad there is people out there that do stuff like that for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we'd like to say thank you for dropping by this morning and spending a little bit of time with us. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning. And as always, if you've got a question, you got a comment, what's going on, please post it so we can answer that and tell you that. And if you ever got any suggestions, we'd love to hear from you on that level as well.
Yeah, if you have birthdays you want us to announce, put that on there.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to.
Well, there you go. And we'll be back bright and early. Good morning to Kathy Price also. I didn't speak to Kathy. I hope she's doing good today. So,
y'all have a good and blessed day.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by